Welcome back to Radar Chaos Hawaii Edition. I'm Jason,
I'm Chad.
and this is the Honolulu TRACON. Unlike the other levels that you might have played or videos that you might have watched, the high-level sectors, the ones where aircraft are on their way into the islands or climbing out of the islands, this one is a zoom-in on a specific airport. Honolulu Airport, to be specific. We're right down to the ground here. We're dealing with airport operations, runways, which you can even see. Now let's take a look here. We'll use our mouse as kind of the finger here. Up to the right here, you can see that's Delta 971, and they are on what's called the Maggie arrival. Now, Maggie is just a name for what's called a standard arrival. It's an agreement between the pilots and the controllers, and basically we all know what's going to happen. Delta knows that they're supposed to follow this track and that they're supposed to descend to a certain altitude, and I expect nothing different than that. I'm pointing over here at the airport here. You see it's got two runways that are two arrival runways. You can see the localizer with the red mile dots. And having two runways is an extremely efficient way to move airplanes. This one here on the right, runway 04. And what we do here in this Honolulu sector is we try to put all the props onto that one runway. And we try to sneak them underneath the big stuff that's landing on the runway 08, this one here. So your props are your Beech 1900s, your Navajos, your Dash 8s, your Cessnas. We just jam all the slow stuff onto the small runway and tuck them underneath the big, faster jets which are landing on runway 08. It's extremely efficient. Now, right here, just south of the airport, you see this AAL 638. It's American 638. Now, they're flying what's called a SID, Standard Instrument Departure. And that's kind of like the standard arrival that I mentioned a moment ago. It's an agreement between the pilot and the controller. It basically says, when you take off, don't hit the hill that's right in front of you, but instead turn to an agreed heading, which is 155 degrees, and climb to 5,000 feet. So every pilot that takes off is going to fly this SID. You take off, you turn, you climb to 5,000. And the pilot is going to fly that SID for eternity until we jump in and tell the pilot to do something different. And that's what we've already done here. Ched has already told American that he can climb. I think you gave him 16,000.
Yep.
And you've sent him direct. Oh, you haven't sent him direct.
I'll do that now.
Yeah.
Direct cast.
See, now, if I had been at the controls here, he would have been well on his way by now.
Yeah, collision in place too.
Yeah, collision in place too. Thank you very much. Thank you. This video is it's a walkthrough. It's not really a tutorial. It's just to get everybody comfortable with this sector. What we own here, what our airspace is, it's the surface all the way up to 16,000 feet. There are other air traffic controllers around us who have their own traffic. So directly above us, for example, is some other guy that only owns 17,000 feet and upwards. So we're not allowed to clear anybody up above 16,000 feet. When somebody takes off, we can give them 16,000 and that's it. That other controller that's above us, they might have somebody at 17,000. They might not. Who cares? It's not our airspace. Now, it goes both ways. When an aircraft arrives, the guy that's above us will descend that aircraft down to 17,000 feet only. And there's a way to be efficient with controlling with handoffs. No pilot wants to fly at 16,000 feet all the way home to Los Angeles. So we want to get that pilot up into the higher levels. And how we do that is we hand the aircraft off. It's called a handoff. And an efficient controller will start the handoff procedure as the pilot is climbing through about 13,000. And the guy above us will accept the handoff. Then we will tell the pilot to call him. And what that controller will say is, okay, you're with me now. Climb to 35,000 feet, or flight level 350 as it's known. And the pilots are really oblivious to this invisible shelf. They have no idea that he owns up to 16,000 and she owns above 17,000. We try to make it so that nobody has to stop There's a built-in safety in this system as well. If the guy above us is driving everybody down to 17 to land at Honolulu, and we're driving everybody out up to 16, and somebody gets busy and somebody gets distracted, the worst thing that's going to happen is you've got two planes that are looking at each other, but they're separated by some some altitude. It beats a midair any day, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, which looks like you're trying to have one here. What exactly are you doing here? Okay, let's...
Well, we've got Hop here, who's descending to 3,000.
Yeah?
You can see the
Oh,
arc
yeah.
where they descend to.
Right, he's going to 3,000. He's going for runway 04.
Delta's at 6, because you
Okay.
mentioned that departure climbs
Yeah,
to 5.
and this
so
is
I'm
where
staying
the
safe.
mid-air collision is going to occur, is that right?
No, we're going to have lots of altitude between them. It'll be just fine.
Yeah, okay.
And here's the handoff that I will accept for that guy level at the Hawaiian level at 17.
Okay, so he's not descending into our airspace until we say that it's okay. Just watch how Ched masterfully controls the traffic here. It's really brilliant. And we need 3 miles of separation minimum, but more than 3 miles is kind of a waste. When you get busy and you've got lots of planes that you've got to get on the ground, and you decide to put them all 10 miles apart, you're going to wind up with a long lineup of arriving airplanes. So you don't want to waste the space. It's like when your mom would tell you to finish your dinner, don't waste it, right? It's kind of useless airspace. Number one aircraft, the ideal, what we're all trying for is number one plane touches down when number two airplane is nipping at its tail feathers, right? It's exactly 3 miles final. And then you've got number 3, who's at 6 miles final. And then number 4 would be kind of at 9-ish. Is that the idea? Sort of like it would look kind of like a string of pearls. Now,
little ducks lined up in a row.
Little ducks lined up in a row. 3 miles is the separation standard, but then there's something called wake turbulence separation, where you actually need more. Sometimes you need 5 miles for that. Wake turbulence is not enforced in this simulation, but it's encouraged. I am witnessing some superior air traffic control in here, my friend. You have got a little something called it, my friend.
You see what I've done here between these two aircraft?
Yeah,
This PA-31, it's called a Navajo, does not descend quickly.
Right.
So this Delta, I'm keeping at least 1,000 feet on top of them.
Gotcha.
So when this Hop descended through 3,000, I gave Delta 4. When this Hop gets to 2, then I can give Delta 3.
Right.
So it'd be at least 1,000 feet above them at all times.
Yeah, yeah.
This United's coming off, as you mentioned, the 155 heading, climbing to 5,000.
And your Air Canada up to the northeast there,
descending to 6.
6. So you've built something in so that when you get distracted,
yeah,
you take a call from your
now
girlfriend.
I'm certain that I can turn this guy out of the way. Thanks for that shot there. I've given him a turn, so I'm assured of separation. So I'm going to give him the assigned altitude, 16,000, by clicking right there. Okay. And now I just have to watch.
Okay.
Hop is down at 2,000. Now I can give Delta the 3,000 and keep my job for another day.
Yeah, well, when you're an expert like Ched, you don't even need rule books, right? Well, it's like this. The rule is 3 miles of separation or 1,000 feet of vertical separation. So you can have two planes that are only 2 miles apart, as long as there is at least 1,000 feet of vertical separation. Or you can have them both at the same altitude, as long as you've got that lateral distance.
Like in this scenario, Hawaiian's chasing down this Air Canada.
Yeah.
They both have 6,000 feet assigned.
Can you show me those future lines real quick there? Just sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ched. Okay. Yeah, these future lines are showing what's going to be.
And not only that, they also predict where they'll be in 2 minutes and the altitude at which they'll be at that time as well.
So United's going to be at 11,800 and climbing.
Exactly.
I see everybody's going pretty much straight here. When you make an aircraft turn, it'll actually show you the turn curve, which is really, really cool.
In fact, I'll do that now. I'll give United direct to CATHs.
Direct to CATHs, okay.
And now you'll see his line start to turn.
Turn, baby, turn.
There it is. Yep. And in a moment, I'm going to get busy. I've turned 2 aircraft at almost the same time. So maybe what I'll do is...
So you want to quit? You want to stop the video now? Is what you're saying.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, this is a good time for Jason to take over. Those off for a moment.
Now, there's situations that happen where you get like 2.9 miles.
That's bad.
Well, like our friend Ched here, his nickname is 2 3/4. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know why you
That
got.
wasn't the girlfriend.
Okay, I don't know why you got that nickname, but 2.9 mile. You have two planes. They come within 2.9 miles. Hardly a catastrophe, right? I mean, the pilots would have no clue, not a clue that there's anything wrong. The passengers, pff, they're just sipping their drinks. They don't know what's going on.
Sure, it's gonna be on YouTube tomorrow.
Well, the one person that does know that you've got 2.9 miles is your supervisor. And he'll come and he'll tap you on the shoulder and he'll roll your chair back and say that Jason's going to jump in now and we're going to go have a little chat in my office. And you'll go downstairs for a little walk and they'll ask you, how is it, Ched, that you had 3 miles and then somehow you wound up with only 2.9? You had it and then you didn't. You're the last line of defense,
Yeah.
right?
I blame the wind.
Yeah, that's right. The winds. It's always a good thing to do.
Jason, you were mentioning about when we hand these aircraft off, this United down here.
Right.
Instead of 11,500 feet.
Yeah.
So you can see where he's predicted to be at 6,000. So I'm going to hand him off now.
Oh, yeah.
So that he has time to contact the high-level controller.
Get rid of that hot
Who
potato.
can then say, climb to flight level 340.
Hey, nice vectoring, Ched.
Yes, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
Little pop-up tells me I'm doing
Yeah,
a
I
good
see
job. I
that.
get to keep my job. So I put that in the handoff. Now there's a flashing H. That
Okay.
means I can tell the pilot,
So
contact
Billy
the
Bob
next
is-
controller.
accepted the handoff.
And now the tag you'll see has disappeared because he's no longer even my control. I can't do anything with him.
Yeah, who cares about him? He's gone.
So here's a departure, climbing to 5,000 feet.
Oh, good thing you've got Air
So
Canada.
that's why
at
I've left
6.
these guys at 6.
Yeah.
It's like I've played this before.
I call it luck, man.
Luck. Dumbass luck.
That's great.
Yeah. So that's kind of the intro. Anything else you'd like to
That's
see?
Honolulu in a nutshell, really. I think we should make one more of these for maybe one for Maui
Yeah,
and
let's
maybe
do that.
the South High Level. Thank you for watching. I hope this has been exciting for you, and look forward to video number 3 coming out very soon.